Hello everyone, back to today's second video. So we've already done JMA Friday. You can find that on the homepage. Just scroll down a bit, it's underneath the link ads. So that takes us into March, and it looks like we're going to get some more unsettled weather towards the second half of the month. We go towards the end of February into the start of March. We could start to see some bands of rain coming through. We might be seeing the first signs of that within the next week to 10 days, actually, and I'm going to deal with the next week to 10 days in today's second video. So this one is going to take us to around the 20th of the month, to around 20th of February. So we've got cold weather at the moment, and there's going to be a chance some snow. In fact, got some snow across eastern parts of the country at the moment. That's going to continue through the rest of the evening, overnight, into the start of tomorrow. But after that, I think we're gradually going to see a warming change. It'll take a long time to warm things up in the north, but next week it will turn milder in the south initially, and then that's going to push northwards. Well, was the suggestion, I think it was yesterday or the day before, from the ECWF, that we might try and cling on to the cold weather a little bit next week, but that seems to have died away, actually, and now I think it does look like going to turn definitively milder through the course of next week. So I'll show you all the detail on it in a second. A lot to cram in for today's second video, but before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles I just mentioned those. Have a browse, visit, click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you're helping us pay for the website. And thanks very much for doing that. So this is the latest radar picture from the Weather Outlook. And you can see that the precipitation is all in the east. It's running from east and south east Scotland down the east coast in towards Yorkshire and Lincolnshire into East Anglia as well. And also pushing through the Midlands in some central southern parts of England. There is some snow in with that. If I show you the precipitation type, you can see that the pink area is showing that we have got snow in with some of this precipitation, and it's a mix of rain, sleet and snow, but there's some vibrant pink colours in there indicating some quite heavy bursts of snow coming through in a few places, certainly enough to produce temporary coverings over high ground here and there, but it's not all doom and gloom. There's some sunny spells coming through with those wintry showers as well. This is how Euro 4 is seeing things developing through the rest of today and tonight. So this is a high-res model from the UK Met Office. This is a website Weather Online. You find the link to both Weather Outlook and Weather Online on the links page. This is how we start off with the model at midday, where we've got those wintry showers in the north and the east. They suggested to continue here across east and central parts of the country into this evening. And then overnight, you see that we're bringing in some more precipitation across the North Sea. Some slightly deeper blue colours there, indicating that the precipitation is pepping up a bit in the North Sea as it heads on to the east coast. And there are still those pink colours there, particularly through northern England down into the Midlands. So again, we have got risk of some sleet or snow coming through this evening. And that gets even more widespread overnight. This is 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, where there could be some quite heavy snowfalls going on there. Again, particularly through northern England, down in towards the Midlands, parts of Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, in central southern England. Towards the east coast, it is turning increasingly to rain, and this is going to be a trend tomorrow. So whilst you might wake up across some of these central areas to a covering of snow tomorrow morning, might be a centimetre or two on the ground. By the time you go through to the second half of the day, this is midday tomorrow, you see a lot of that pink is fading away. It's being replaced by blue. So what we have is probably start off with snow that gradually turns more towards sleet, rain, snizzle, that kind of thing. And any lying snow will very quickly thaw out, I think, through the course of tomorrow. This is 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, quite wet by that point across east and southeast Scotland down into northeast England. Some heavy outbreaks of rain. Still snow over hills, particularly over the Pennines, but down at lower levels probably turning more towards rain, and then that continues overnight into sunny as we start to bring in slightly less cold air from off the North Sea. We do move through the course of Saturday and into Sunday more towards wintry showers, so a mix of rain, hail, sleet, snow, bits of snizzle, as opposed to the definitive snow that we start off with on Saturday morning. It'll be a cold weekend though. That wind's in from the east throughout the weekend. It's a bitter wind, quite a strong wind as well, tightly packed isobars there, so pretty cold and bitterly cold and windy. No real wind for Scotland though, so your problem up there over the weekend could well be severe night frost and also freezing fog. This is how the central temperature is doing. This is from Hadley at the UK Met Office. It's on its way down. We are currently at 5.1 degrees, which is an anomaly now of just 0.8 degrees above average. I think that's a couple of degrees, up to nearly 3 degrees above average right at the start of the month. So it's produced a lot. It'll continue to drop over the weekend and inside of next week. And then it'll probably get a bit of a boost again as we go into the middle and latter stages next week and start to bring up that milder air from the south. But at the moment, we're just ever so slightly above average. By the start of next week, we'll probably be colder than average. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We've got the red line here, which is the 30-year temperature average, so colder than average at the moment, of course, bringing the most bitterly cold easterly winds, but we're about as cold as we're going to get now, certainly by tomorrow morning we will be. I mean, after that, it's all moving upwards with those upper air temperatures, so by the start of next week, we're actually going fairly milder than average. And then it looks like we're in for a very sustained period of mild weather. Look at that, really mild upper air temperatures continuing there. Right away from the start of next week in towards the last stages of February. This takes us to the 25th, 26th of February over here, and it's all above average, nothing particularly cold doing there. So after this cold weather is done with us over the weekend, it could well be that we get a sustained spell of mild weather setting up, although we did get that sudden stratospheric warming occurring about 10 days, a couple of weeks ago now, and there's no real sign of that affecting things. Whether this cold snap is to do with that, I'm not sure, but there's no real sign of that stratospheric warming bringing us any colder conditions. But it may be as we get towards the last stages of February and maybe on into March, we might start seeing things turning colder again. But for the moment, the GFS ensembles are very solidly above average, at least with the upper air temperatures. Having a look at the temperature anomaly, we can see that it's gradually recovering. You remember looking at these a couple of days ago, most of Europe was cold on average. Still a bit on the cold and average side for many places, but it is warming up both across Scandinavia and down across France. I think the trend with these will be increasingly towards the milder side of things as we go through the next few days. But from the 10th today through to the 18th of February, still coming out a little bit cooler than average for the British Isles. But that is running out of road now, that cold weather, and I think we are going to be shifting more and more onto the milder side. Temperature anomalies, precipitation anomalies I should say, also dry than average, that continues, no sign of any sustained wet weather for the next week. So this is the GFS then for Tuesday, for Valentine's Day, bringing up this southeasterly wind. It'll probably still be quite chilly, that wind. It's going to take a long while, whether your bread temperatures lifting up, I think down on the sun, it's going to take a long while to really lift those temperatures. So even Tuesday could be quite a coolish day, especially so up in the north. However, trend through next week is to bring up these southerly winds, so the temperatures will lift up day by day. As we get through to the second half of next week, I think it will be properly mild then. The air's coming up from the south-southwest, so temperatures should be at least up to around 10, 11, 12 degrees. That's into the low 50s Fahrenheit. A bit of a weather system there for Scotland, bringing some rain, but most places probably still dry. High pressure continues through to the end of next week, down to the south and southeast of the country, so again wafting up that milder air from the south, and this continues into the following weekend actually, which is Saturday 18th of February and then on to Sunday 19th of February, where again still looking very mild, turning more unsettled for the north, a bit wet and windy up there. But for England and Wales, still lots of dry weather close to that ridge of high pressure that's down to the south. And that's how we end up on day 10. Well, actually, we could extend beyond that, because we're going to finish at day 10, Monday 20th of February. Still with high pressure close to the south of the country, still bringing up those southerly, southwesterly winds. So mostly dry in the south, and potentially quite spring-like by then. I wouldn't be too surprised to see temperature to 13, 14 degrees perhaps. That seemed to be upper 50s Fahrenheit. Perhaps up in the north, a little bit wetter and windier there. ECMWF very similar, still with that chilly southeasterly wind on Tuesday. Turns more southerly on Wednesday, gradually day by day, but temperatures should start to lift up. Get through to the second half of next week, I think we are then definitively into a mild air mass. So we're looking at temperatures into double digits across most parts of the country, I would have thought, by the end of next week. A little bit more unsettled, though, for the weekend of 18th, 19th of February. The GFS has lots of high pressure through that period. The ECMWF looks quite a bit more unsettled, bringing these weather systems in. So that is, at the very least, bringing some outbreaks of rain, but it is still fairly mild. That's how we finish up on day 10 with this southwesterly wind. So it's mild, there'll probably be rain up in the north, down in the south, a fair amount of dry weather, but it's a little bit more unsettled compared to what the GFS is seeing. Certainly nothing particularly cold going on there, however. These are the ECMWF ensembles just to finish with. This is for De Bilt in Holland. So you can see very clearly there's a warming trend. This is the temperature box just here. We're starting off in De Bilt, it's very similar to the UK, virtually in the freezer or around freezing. But very slowly over the weekend and start of next week, the temperatures are lifting up here, turning milder, and as you get through into the second half of next week and then on into the following week, which is this period just here, we find that we're in a properly mild air mass then. Temperatures looking pretty spring-like, and no doubt very pleasant weather. This box just here is snow, depicting snow spikes. So for Holland, they've got some heavy snow coming up over the weekend. But into beyond that, into the weekend and into next week, I should say, and then the following week, you notice there's no snow spikes at all. That's very unusual that you don't have any members of the ECM ensembles at this time of year doing anything snowy. So it really does look as though once this cold weather is out of the way, we might have quite a wait to get it cold again and to get snow to come through. However, don't be running away with the idea that winter is finished and it's done and dusted after this weekend. It's still very, very early for that. And if you remember last year, through the spring, we kept having cold snaps, kept going back into cold weather. And actually, the end of April last year produced a very unusually cold spell of weather with snow more widespread at the end of April last year than at any point through the winter of 2015-2016. So it just goes to show you can never rule anything out with our weather, particularly spring, which is a cruel season at the best of times and often throws back to winter when you least want it. So if you like cold weather, don't be thinking that it's all over and we're off and running into spring and summer. I suspect at some point within the next few weeks we will have some more cold weather. So although not every spring, some springs do go through very easily and you don't get any throwbacks to winter at all. So you never know with the British weather is the basic idea. But anyway, for next week to 10 days, we're starting cold at the moment. Going to stay cold over the weekend. There will be snow around tonight and for the rest of the day, tonight and into tomorrow. Once that's done and dusted with us, though, next week the trend is to warm things up very gradually. It's going to be a slow process, especially for the north, but the temperatures will start to lift up through next week, probably feeling quite spring-like by the second half of next week. But I suspect that's not the end of winter, and we'll have to wait and see if winter does come back. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.